Say sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. So, dear Dharma friends, when it comes to our day-to-day life, mostly we're struggling to keep our happiness inside us. And most of people, for many reasons, become unhappy. So, the very first thing that you have to understand, the very nature of this life is suffering. So, what is the suffering means? There is a nature in the world, and there is a separate idea in your mind, and then you always have a struggle with the nature and within your mind to find the balance. If you don't understand the behavior of the nature, and sometimes you misunderstand and you try to maintain the nature, you trying to overtake the nature, and that the struggle itself bring you unsatisfaction. So that's become a struggle, and that struggle, and sometimes on the way we can make certain things happen the way we want, and once it become like that way, what is happening, we start to believe we can do that, we can overtake this. So rather than understanding what we start to do, we start to develop a current to overtake always that nature, and develop in the other side, it start to resist with the nature and start to develop a huge current. Maybe you can overtake the small thing, little things on the way, but when it comes to huge things, sometimes you fail that, you destroy that all the happiness or the satisfaction you create through that small little things, because when you fail with something bigger. But if you understand the very nature of the behavior of the mind and the world, the itself, with these little things, you become very simple and you become very humble. That humbleness, that simplicity, and start to create an attitude, even when the bigger things happen, you become humble and you become simple. So that become an attitude, and that is become a kind of like a passion. And that passion, there is a word called mood. So the mood means the moment you hold your mind, the moment you hold the mind, the very nature we call the mood. So there are three kind of moods in the material world, in the conventional life, not the, because in the eternal, in the spiritual life, in the eternal life, in the vipassana level, there is no mood. But in the conventional life, before you attain to tranquility state, when you, be very clear, when you maintain your life with your eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, mind, your eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, and the mind, when you maintain this life with the outside world, with the perceptions, in that very moment, if you dealing with the thoughts, that is mind, in the moment of your mind. So it is not coming from somewhere else. It is not happening because of somebody else desire. It is not happening because of out of someone else command. It happened according to the very nature, the behavior of the environment and the very behavior of your mind. In that very moment, there are certain thoughts arise. That is what called mood. So the mood always like clouds. Remember that. Mood always disappear. Because that is the very nature of the mind. The mood come out of the mind. The very moment that you hold the mind is called mood. But the mind itself cannot have a mood. To have a mood, you need something from outside. With your eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, or the mind. When it comes to mind, it can be idea, thought, or it can be thing, it related with your past or the future. So the very beauty is in the present moment. If you aware regarding something, you cannot have a mood. So to have a mood, always mind should be related with the past or the future. So because otherwise you cannot have, when you are very clearly, it's like when you listening, when you hearing, when you eating, when you feeling something, and when you consciously thinking, in that very moment you cannot have a mood. So yourself, or when if somebody having a mood, mean itself that person disconnecting from the present moment. Remember that. So your husband, wife, children, friends and families, your parents, mostly the mood come out of. Look very carefully, it is very interesting. When I look for this, all the articles and regarding the mood and this thing, it's very interesting, because always 99% the moods come out of regarding the relationships. That you cannot have a mood regarding this material. Always the mood come out of the relationships. So there are three kind of moods. So the one is mood of ignorance. Mood of ignorance. So the mood of ignorance means that some kind of that things that appear to your mind related with the past or the future, related with the somebody, related with the somebody, related with the past or the future, and you had the idea which is not real, which is not real. So that is mood of ignorance, because no one can fix that. And maybe you can try to prove that, you can try to show many evidence, but that you cannot fix that. That is the very danger of the mood of ignorance. But when yourself, if somebody say that you are in mood, or even yourself, if you know that you regarding somebody related with the past or the future, if you have any idea, any clue, any something doubt, so that doubtness yourself, you have to be very careful. Why? Because sometimes that doubtness has power to create more doubts. And then little by little, what is happening? Your eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, mind start to disconnect from the reality. So that is the mood of ignorance. Another one is the mood of passion. So the mood of passion means, so whatever the style that you used to develop to show off your body as a personality, this is I am, related with that. If something not happening exactly the way you want, it creates a mood inside you. So as example, that you have a haircut, and you have that haircut, you thinking other people say it is look good. Or you put a makeup and thinking somebody will comment regarding it and say, you all look beautiful. With that intention, now you trying to represent yourself. And then you go, but no one tell anything about it. And then you get into a mood. You disconnecting from the reality in the moment and related with that your idea had been the past, now you always thinking, and then you disconnect from the mood, the moment. So it is the mood of passion, that who you are, what you trying to represent. And sometimes that with your body, with your ideas, with your titles, and as example, you go to a meeting and thinking that you have a degree. So now somebody want to address you as a doctor. So they just say your name. And they maybe they forget, or they don't know you are a doctor, maybe don't know the reason. But now you are in mood. So like that, mood of passion. Another one is the mood of goodness. So it also material. It also material mean it also conventional. Mood of goodness. So the mood of goodness mean you don't have any doubt inside you, and then you have the idea it should be like this, other people should recognize this this way or that way, like that, and then according to that you the experience it the same way that you thought. So as example, you was thinking that you putting a makeup, or you had the haircut, or you wearing a t-shirt, and you go to gym and work out, and somebody say, hey, you look nice. Then you get into mood of goodness. Why? Because you was work out thinking to feel like good, show like macho. So then somebody saw and then come and say like that. That is so dangerous. Remember that. Why it is so dangerous? So that is what doing this all the companies collecting details, emotions, your cell phone, your computer, your emails, your Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, that everything, and Google, this all the search engines, that is what doing. They collecting your mood of goodness. They never collect your mood of sadness or your mood of ignorance. They collect mood of goodness. Why? Because that is where they can keep you nice, good, and as a follower. So then yourself, you have to remember, when you come to tranquility state, mean you come out of these three moods. There is no mood of ignorance. Why? Because yourself, you observing, knowingly you do this meditation. You cannot say, I don't know what happened. If you practice yourself, this mental practice, mental culture, if you come to a tranquility state, you cannot say, I don't know what happened. It's better than you don't do it. Another thing is the mood of passion. When it comes to tranquility state, that is the end of the mood of passion. Another one is the mood of goodness. That is the end of the mood of goodness, tranquility state. So to get into Vipassana, you have to come out of these three moods. But in your conventional life, to maintain your life, sometimes you go with the up and down all the three moods. So in day-to-day life yourself, if you develop the awareness what is happening, this mood start to disappear. The moment you hold your mind with the idea related with the past or the future, start to disappear. Start to disappear. That disappearance itself bring the clarity to recognize how things come to be as they are in this very moment. That make you more awake, mindful, and that mindfulness will take you through the situation rather than thinking about it related with the past or the future. So then yourself always remember, when you feel like you come to a mood, or important thing, if someone else trying to tell you, indicate that you are in mood, the right way what you have to do, bring your mind to the present moment knowingly. Once you recognize that right away, that it will disappear. So why this mood happen like this way psychologically? Why people get into the mood? Because they always try to depend from other people, not the things. So as I mentioned, the most of moods come out of the people, relationships, because they always trying to depend from others. But if you see yourself and recognize it is your responsibility to maintain your life. It doesn't matter you have husband, wife, children, friends and family members, or your parents. In a certain level, you have to maintain your life yourself, physically and mentally. So that understanding itself, once you recognize that you have the responsibility within yourself, and you slowly detach from that waiting for someone else, you become more strong, and that will help you to reduce the mood. And that's why when you come to meditation, that itself, look, you are not depending from anything. And even in the deeper vipassana level, you are not depending from any technique. You're not depending from any memory. You're not depending from any prayers. You are not depending from any blessings. Just you become pure, clear consciousness. In that very moment, you recognize in that consciousness also changing moment by moment. But this dependent mind and always take us to samsara, and that is creating all this dramas and the pain and disappointment, unhappiness, this everything. And the thing is this, even that you are with the people, and itself not going to make you satisfied one day. And somehow that for the moment you feel happy, but later and then again the mostly you feel unhappiness. But somehow if you able to recognize, detach the desires with the people, not the things, with the people, we have a strong attachment to that. You don't see it. And somehow people have a way to get connecting with the people. Maybe it's not physical face to face, somehow with the people. So if you slowly detach that, and it's going to make you more peaceful, happy. The desire is the people is like this way. So you have seen maybe these fire ceremonies, Indian fire ceremonies. So Hindus mostly put the pure ghee to the fire. So I'm not going to talk about that, but I'm going to give you an example regarding, because we have no right to talk about it. So when you put the pure ghee to the fire, in that very moment, the fire going to become cool. That means reduce the fire. When you put the ghee, in that very moment, the fire become low, less fire. It's become little bit cool. But what is happening later? Because of that ghee itself, the fire start to become more stronger, more stronger. It come with the more heat. Not anything from outside. The same thing, the ghee, when you put it to the fire itself, the fire become little bit cool. And get it very carefully, listen this very carefully and get the example exactly what I trying to mean. When you put the ghee, the right away the fire become cool. But what is happening, within few seconds, the ghee start to bring the fire with the great heat. Our desire the same with the people. For the moment, when you have the attachment, in that very moment you feel very cool. But within few days or the few moments, few days, few weeks, what is happening? It start to come with the great fire. So the beginning of the fire is the mood. So remember, as a husband, wife, children, friends and family members, or the brothers, sisters, I'm not talking about aliens. No, I'm just talking about just the people around us. So if you know that other person get into mood because of you, remember, it's something, before going to heavy rain, it's like a coming thunder. You have to understand that if you are wise. If the other person get into mood because of you, just remember, it's like putting the ghee, and in that very moment and later, it's going to come with the great fire. So then yourself, when it comes to human relationships, we mostly get pain, unhappiness, unsatisfaction, fear because of the human relationships. But why it happened? Mainly because we hold it to our self-centered mind and we think we are more important. As a result of that, as a result of self-centered mind, as a result of egocentric idea, rather than building up the relationship, in the beginning we have idea to build the relationship, but mostly deeply we disconnect from the human nature. So then yourself, when you come to the vipassana level, deeply you observe in recognizing that what is happening inside you. And once you have that understanding, you recognizing that deeply there is no self like that, because this always changing. Once you come out of that self-centered idea, egocentric idea, the itself, you start to come with the great compassion, with the great understanding. So that understanding help you to become a humble person. So look, try to be humble, like in front of a child, when the person in the mood. Like, when you are in front of the child, when you play with the children, and as parents, as elders, and you never want to win, you like to lose, and you like to see that when your children win, and you like to cheer them, and you become happy becoming a loser. Why you cannot do it to your husband or the wife, or why you cannot do it to your partner, why you cannot do it to your friends, why you cannot do it to your co-worker, why you cannot do it to your neighbor, why you can do it only with the children. Think about it. And then you will see there is something in the middle hold you. Try to address that. Try to recognize that. When the day you recognize it, that recognition itself like a light, the whatever in the middle itself, the idea or the egocentric, self-centered idea is kind of like a darkness. When the light arises, the darkness disappear like that. Recognition itself is the solution for the egocentric mind. You don't need to do anything. The recognition itself is the way to untangle this. That's why when a person closes eyes and deeply practice meditation, and then the recognizing through the Dhamma, attain to enlightenment, that everything disappear. So the recognition itself is the solution. So then yourself remember and try to get into that little by little, and don't try to develop the mood. And sometimes people with the effort, they try to get into mood. Never do that mistake. Never try to knowingly yourself to just to show off, just to pretend like you are like that. Don't try to get into mood. It's kind of like you inviting to the poison inside you. As much as try to come out of it, because this mood is kind of like a way to take you away from the awareness. So then remember, in the day-to-day life, with the little things, even though you find the satisfaction, and the deeper level, it can burn us deeply. So then when it comes to human relationships, always have the compassion, always have the loving kindness regarding your own people around. And if they make a mistake, if they try to win through the arguments, and just remember, take them like children in this sansaric journey, and just let them to win, and just be happy yourself, be a loser yourself, and learn to enjoy being a loser. So knowingly yourself, when you lose yourself and giving the victory to others, that is a great victory inside yourself. You can appreciate, you can enjoy. So with that, I bless upon everyone by the power of this good practice. May all of you be well, happy and peaceful. May no harm come to you. May no difficulties come to you. May no problems come to you. May you also have the patient courage, understanding and determination to meet and overcome inevitable difficulties in your life. During this time period, may everyone stay healthy and safe. And finally, may all of you attain supreme bliss of Nibbana. Sabbitiyo vajjantu sabbarogo vinasatu mate bhavatantarayo sukhi digayuko bhava. Ittavata ca amme sampadam punya sampadam sabbe devanumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Sabbe bhutanumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Sabbe sattanumodantu sabba sampatti siddhya. Idamme punya kammang asavakkaya vahang hotu. Sabba dukkha pamunchatu. Bless you. So thank you very much, everyone.